Namaskaram, Gaurav. Janmashtami wishes to all of you and to the viewers of India today.
Thank you.
Very quickly, Gaurav, this temple of Lord Shiva, it is called Chandrasekhara, and Parvati is called as Manendiya Balli. And there have been Sthala Purana, very, very old. And we have the mystic saints called the Nayanmars who have sung beautiful, chaste Tamil verses in the 7th century. So the earliest reference we have to the temple is of the 7th century by a poet called Tiruchendurai Sambandar. Tiruchendurai Sambandar has sung on this in the 7th century, around the same period when Islam was founded in the Arabian Peninsula. So this temple has a mention in a poetry, and later Rajaraja Chola, who lived 1,000 years back, his grandfather Parantaka Chola is said to have built, and his daughter-in-law is said to have contributed a lot to its construction in the 10th and the 11th centuries. So there has been a strong literary and archaeological record, and so much so that the Chola kings have said that we have donated acres of land, 2 valleys they say, which is close to 16 acres of land for the temple exclusively. But I'll just like to read out what Abdul Rahman, the head of Tamil Nadu Waqf board, says to the federal. He says the 1,500-year-old temple is on Waqf property. I'm quoting. But the donors of the land clearly stated that the temple should remain as is. Then he says they can produce patta. For the temple, they have to produce patta and other revenue records as proof if our claim is false. So to prove that the temple is a Hindu temple and the temple belongs to itself and to the Hindus have to go prove to the Waqf board that this is when inscriptions are there. This is really alarming, Gaurav, because today, if it has reached a temple, it has reached a temple with such high inscriptional records and literary records. Tomorrow, your house and my house could also be under question. What if not, we are not in the farmer's position? The point is, he says that the 1,500-year-old temple is on Waqf land. See, the problem is, Gaurav, we don't realize the underlying problem here. If a temple built by a king, maintained and renovated by a king with inscriptions itself faces the problem, imagine the villagers and farmers, they won't have patta more than 200 years old. So if a king with inscriptions and the temple, the person on record goes on to say at the federal that the 1,500-year-old temple is on Waqf land, then imagine what will be the state of the villagers. Villagers will not have more than 100-year-old record. Gaurav, I'm forced to appreciate Maulana Saab for his honesty, stating that it is wrong to claim such an old land because the act itself came in the later half of the 20th century. I agree. But at the same time, whether he agrees, disagrees, whether you agree or I agree, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the villages and the owners of their houses and lands are distraught there in the Tiruchendurai village. Who is going to give them balm? And you know, there were instances recorded, Gaurav. 2 years back, a farmer had arranged for the selling of his land so that he could get his daughter married. And at the end of the day, when he he realized that he couldn't sell his land, marriage didn't happen. Look at the trauma that the family had to undergo. So whether Maulana ji agrees, disagrees, whether you agree, disagree, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it is the farmer, it is the commoners who are suffering. And tomorrow, Gaurav, just because you're living in Delhi and I am living in Bangalore, we cannot remain safe. This Waqf Act can come to your house and my house. As simple as that.
And